Yeah, it's got to be one of the most intimidating things you can be up against in a professional career, knowing you're up against a former Wimbledon quarterfinalist. He's got so many ATP titles to his name, and also a phenomenal doubles player as well. So Alex Neuman has his work cut out. However, he's beaten the likes of Tyler Leung and Jay de Villiers.
Good shape on the ball right there. That started off with a nice serve. Alex Neuman bringing that.
Yeah, I like his footwork around his forehand side, going inside out.
Another good serve. Depth in finding the sidelines. That one just long.
Yeah, it's a good leave from Sam Querry. It's often one of the latter things to come into the game. Big forehand.
That looks familiar.
Yeah, he's hit a few of those in his day. So he's on the board.
Shallow return. Sam not quite there to get his feet set.
Yeah, what we've seen every time one of these great tennis players come in, specifically Querry in recent times, is the level he presents in his first game and the level he arrives at after 2 or 3 games is wildly different. He picks up, you know, a 1.5 points, you know, somehow going from a 5.0 to a 6.5 pretty quickly.
The learning curve is steep for Sam Querry. Also won the Bubbly Team Championships on the PPA Tour.
Oh, Alex Neuman. He held that for just long enough to be able to thread it down the line, kept the big man in position.
Working with the carbon pickleball paddle you see in Alex Neuman's hand. That time he works inside out.
God, the court just looks so small for Sam Querry, doesn't it?
It does. You got to think about the amount of court coverage he can present. That 6'6" height. I wonder what the wingspan is.
Just couldn't quite get low enough on that ball. That is going to be one of the difficulties for a player of his height. So the ball will come back to Querry. Just not sure if he's taking a timeout or just dusting off the ball. So 1-4 is the scoreline.
Oh, and he was given a gift right there off the net.
But I'm very impressed that he attempted the third shot drop. For singles, that is not usually the low-hanging fruit that a lot of tennis players go towards. They look to really drive their way to success, as he does very well on that occasion.
Up the line from Sam Querry. Finds 2 more, trailing by 1. Returns middle instead, just missing wide.
The winner of this match will go forward to play the winner of Dylan Fraser and one lucky qualifier.
Oh, the Tui, that was beautiful.
Yeah, he set things up beautifully with that first two-handed backhand and closed the show with the second. Yeah, puts Neuman in a tough spot there.
Attacking the feet and then finding the cross court. Beautifully done from Sam Querry. Oh, he nearly had it.
Oh, I know, he would have paid good money to have a tennis racket in his hand on that occasion, just to shape that ball down. Great effort, though. And misses wide.
So often we talk about the return and how critical, not only the return, but also the serve in the game of singles. A few different approaches, how you might go about doing that. And I'd be curious to know what your preference is.
I've always been a fan of going big on the serve, either getting some unforced errors with the return or at least a shorter return, and giving you a great option for driving a third ball. For me, that was always the play, but everyone's a little different. I still see some great depth and good pace from Querry on his serve.
What about in terms of the return? So often, like you just saw there, Sam with the slice return, but I feel like at times you also see a lot more topspin returns in the game of singles.
Yeah, there's a lot of players who are able to really feed off that backspin and compound their own topspin on top of it and cause some real trouble. So you've just got to be very wary of the players that are capable of doing that, and in which case slicing your return can be a little bit ominous.
Oh, look at that. There's the length.
6'6" man. Tough to get by.
We're stuck at 4-3 right now.
Maybe there should be a side pot to see how many people can actually pass him.
It's a great, it's a great bet.
I don't think Neuman's done a clean. Has he done a clean one yet? The hard part, obviously, for a man his size, getting down low enough to really get the paddle head well underneath the contact point. It's just going to take his knees to get used to, that lower sweet spot.
Beautiful cut.
Oh, he's missed it.
Oh,
he had everything on his paddle there. It looks so good. I'm a little curious why he wasn't going with the two-hander. It looked so good early on. He elected to stab the single-handed backhand instead.
We'll see where Querry puts this return most times. He's been going to that backhand side of Neuman. This time he goes middle.
That's a great shot from Alex Neuman.
Great shape to that ball.
So the side out. Querry with the serve back. Again, he's just catching the tape, just underneath the tape on that one. I tell you, it's going to be one of those things. It won't be long before every one of those forehands is clearing. And well, if he had made every one that so far has found the net, the landscape here would be very different. Just misses that one long.
Seven, 3 now. That backhand up the line. And another ball from Sam. He's sitting on that. There's been multiple opportunities for him to find a couple winners.
Yeah, so far I'm seeing that first volley just not quite getting enough penetration. Alex Neuman is really targeting the backhand side. He's getting some short volleys out of Sam Querry.
Unlucky bounce for Neuman.
Yeah, the net giveth and it taketh away.
8-3 now. Speaking of taking away.
Yeah, it's gone both ways. So now the return game of Sam Querry needs to be on point to stop the bleeding.
Earlier, Neuman was finding the sidelines with that serve. This time, just a little bit more depth.
Yeah, he's got a lot of shape and great penetration on his forehand, and so far it's targeted the Querry backhand well.
Does it land?
Just wide. Short return. Yeah, Neuman's just doing a good enough job of getting the ball quite low, finding the feet kind of level of Querry, knowing that is going to be the tough area. Certainly don't want to leave anything net height or above.
9-3.
Got a big serve, doesn't it?
Yeah. Paid dividends to this point.
Good volley from Querry. That was enough. If he can just get that kind of depth and penetration, he could really do well.
See if we can find a little bit of momentum. You mentioned early on, his game will evolve very quickly. And there again is that same point.
Yeah, there's just been 4 or 5 of those. And if every one of them had gone over, it's going to be a tough battle. But I'm sure we'll see in game 2 him lifting up that ball. And again, the big serve of Alex Neuman really paying off. This would be certainly where I'd consider a timeout from Sam Querry. He's got a lot of people in his corner that will be more than happy to help with some tactical advice.
It's game ball, though, for Neuman. And there again is that forehand from Neuman doing a fantastic job finding game number 1, 11-3.
Yeah, smooth work from him. I thought it might be a little closer than that, and I'm sure we'll see that in game 2. But now Alex Neuman punches on to game 2 with game 1 in the hands, 11-3.
Baseline right now. A few unforced errors in terms of maybe a little bit more height and shape on the ball for him. Some of those moments. And they start nice and quick for us.
And once again, the net is getting involved in the Querry forehand. I tell you, if he just drops his body height a few inches, that ball will have clearance. I think we'll see him make that change.
Querry was placed into the main draw with a wild card after winning the Bubbly Team Championships. This team.
Neuman closing the net well. He's getting a lot out of his serve. I do like his motion. He puts a lot of energy into it.
And you know what that means.
Yeah. So Querry serving.
A few different looks from Neuman there. You saw the two-handed backhand and then found one-hand punch.
Yeah, Querry almost got away with it with a last-second lob. Another big serve from Neuman.
Yeah, he is ripping them right now.
This man is not to be underestimated.
There's that slice with plenty of time for Querry to get to the net. It seems to be his forte. It almost looks like he's trying to just find himself up at that kitchen line as much as possible off that return, giving himself plenty of time with the slice.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much pressure on the return of serve in the game of singles. It's not easy when you're up against a different kind of shape than you're used to. Obviously, he's very accustomed to a tennis ball and a tennis racket. So,
still hitting that a little flat.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Two 2-0 now for Neuman. And a fortunate bounce for Neuman.
Yeah, the net has really favored him so far. It's going to be tough to get a lob over the
Clean.
6'6" Querry.
So that's the question, is who can get a passing shot on him and who can get a lob on him?
Yeah, so far Neuman, he's done such a good job of getting the ball to dip low to the volleys and the ground strokes for Querry, that it has been tough for Querry to get the clearance and kind of margins he needs.
What a play from Neuman.
The agility of this young man.
Twisted up like a cyclone, but still finds his feet.
Yeah, that's very impressive work. So, starts to develop a bit of a commanding lead here. Has he got it? Yes, he has. Marches to 4-0. This wouldn't be a bad timeout opportunity, but it is a skill like anything else in the game, knowing when and to take that timeout, just to try to halt your opponent's momentum.
So much needed side out on the side of Sam Querry.
So 0-4, let's see what he can do.
To your point, Neuman playing with some of the depth.
Nice work. Okay, so.
Good court
Querry,
coverage.
Yes, that will certainly be his forte. And he is on the board.
I liked what you saw, though, from Neuman in the middle of that point. He kind of laid one up a little softer, tried to keep the bounce low.
And again, finds the net. So 4-1, Neuman.
4-1.
Another big serve.
Does he find the line? And he does.
I think he does, yeah. He's doing such a good job of running around that backhand, using that huge forehand to his favor. I think if you're Sam Querry, you've got to realize it's not so easy to find someone who's as quick as Alex Neuman, their backhand side. You might as well open up, go down the line with the forehand and then try to get to the backhand. But with a backhand like that.
I was going to say, that was a thing of beauty right there.
Yeah, and Neuman calling for the crowd to get involved, and rightly so.
6-1.
And Sam saying that was a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Touche.
Again, he chips towards the backhand side. Neuman plays a forehand.
And that time he finds one.
He is rolling. I think if Neuman does pull out the win here today, if when he announces it at a dinner arrangement down the track, if he'll actually say that it was a tennis or pickleball game.
Just long there again.
So Neuman now 8-1. Another huge forehand, and now just 2 points away.
Well, and Neuman's been showing great kind of expansion of his array of shots, going both cross court and up the line with both his forehand and his backhand. He's kind of challenged every alley there is on the side of Querry.
And that return floats long.
10-1.
Now match ball. Oh, and he pegged him!
I think he's got him.
He had him! No way!
So,
That's a bit unorthodox.
yeah, well, so if nothing else, he'll have one of the shots of the day, undoubtedly.
He's well outside the court. That's wild. And then he misses the serve.
Okay, so Neuman, another chance to march forward in the bracket.
I feel like that's a little bit of karma right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Another match ball for Neuman. Neuman is everywhere, but you can see how low he's dropping that paddle face down. Beautiful angles with that wrist.
Yeah, no, he does very well. Gets so much shape on the ball. And that really is the kind of kryptonite for a man as tall as Sam Querry.
He's working with only a few inches of margin above the height of the net.
Oh, he's got a forehand.
And there's a point for Sam Querry.
Very nice. Yeah, we know he's got the power, the range, the speed, the court coverage, obviously, to be very dangerous in this game. Just getting used to the paddle and the ball. It's going to take a little bit of time.
And a firefight.
It goes Querry's way, so who knows?
I feel like that's the first real one we've seen.
Yeah. This could be the beginning of a historic comeback. Potentially.
Early on a Thursday morning, why not?
Yeah.
Some defense from Sam, but the close. Neuman facing a third match ball. Taking the slow walk, back to serve. Starts with a lot of depth away from the baseline.
Yeah, it's a smart move. Great first volley, finds a nice short angle, really making the distance that Alex Neuman has to cover all the more difficult. So 3-10, can he continue the comeback?
Neuman taking a second, wiping away the sweat. Returns, and there's a third shot drop from Sam.
Yeah, I've noticed in the last handful of points, he's gone towards the drop more than the drive, not really trusting that his drive is quite there yet. So Neuman with another match point.
His fourth.
10-3.
And there it is.
Almost paints that line. Beautiful forehand again from Alex Neuman.
The finish from Alex Neuman. Taking down Sam Querry 11-3, 11-3. And it was with shots like that.
Yeah, that is clean work from him. He knew the advantages.